Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining us at this day of security. This is so exciting. Brenly posted earlier by her numbers. I think this is my 10th day of security because I missed Vancouver and I wasn't at the lunch and learn, the very first one, but I am so excited that this has continued, stayed strong. I'm wearing my vintage goods today and definitely going to go get one of the swag items that's new this year too. So don't miss the swag store. Little plug for you there, Kel. I am here today to share a little bit about what I've actually been working on myself. I was just telling my wonderful stage host, and thank you to everyone who's a stage host today or a volunteer. You are so critical to making this happen for us and making our speakers a little cooler in the face of fire. I was telling her I'm using these tips. So beyond just theoretical ideas here, this is stuff I know does start conversations. It definitely gets you thinking. In some cases, it gets you accepted. When to use AI and when not to use AI is part of the skill that we're going to discuss here today, and sort of how to implement it ethically as well as effectively, and giving a little something for everybody. So we're going to talk about folks who are looking for jobs and who want to maybe change jobs, career changers, a little bit later. There's two parts to this. The first part is for everybody, so everyone can pay attention through the beginning. Initially, just who am I? I've been in marketing formally for about 10 years. I have a master's degree in digital marketing, formerly the director of marketing and media for CyberSecurity, who's a wonderful sponsor here today. Still big love for everyone there. And Deidre, of course. I've worked with her like 3 different times now, I think. And definitely a great group of people to attend events with, follow, talk to about careers and networking opportunities, because you never know when things can come back around and you can work with people again. Since 2022, I am also a founder, and I started my own marketing firm on archery, which is a mashup of monarch butterflies and archery, meaning we're going somewhere, but we're just getting there on our own time. You know, it felt prescient at the time. I feel like it still works. And I do cybersecurity marketing consulting. So I use content development, content management tools to do my thing. Again, it's using them ethically. It's knowing when to use them. And in the marketing world, my favorite thing is events, coming to things like this, helping make these things happen. That's why I volunteer. I can't just sit still and listen. Otherwise, my mind starts wandering. So I probably should put attention deficient on that slide. Who else am I? I'm a wifey. My anniversary is Monday, 1 year. Shout out to the hubs. I am an aunt. I just had a new nephew on the first of the year, and he's the cutest little muffin. I have 3 cats. I have a ton of plants, like probably hundreds, literally. I wrote a book or 4 thanks to AI this year. I was able to play with it. Like, I don't want to recommend things that I don't know how to use. And so for me, the use case really was, let me see how I can do a thing with these tools, and then I'll tell other people what I think they can do. So anytime you see me share on LinkedIn or Twitter or anything like that, if you are nice enough to follow me, you are seeing something that I really have tried to work with and implement. And either it didn't work or it did. And I love going to concerts. I'm going to one next month. I'm really excited. And DOS Core, we talked about that. That's a little bit of my AI art over there. Shout out to everyone else who loves screwing around on Midjourney and wasting time you're not getting paid for. Who cares who I am, right? I'm just here to speak about AI and tools. Well, the reality is people do hire people. We work with human beings every day. You go to work and you sit next to someone that has a family and has hobbies and has a commute and has dietary restrictions and has all these diversity that makes it wonderful, right? It's what makes our teams click. It's what brings unique ideas to the table. And so part of my brand is owning who you are. And that's part of what this is going to talk about, primarily how to maximize your own impact on your brand using AI for social media and online marketing, basically. So let's just start with a simple question. Do you have a personal brand? What have you done to establish that brand? I'm betting by the fact that you're here, you're on LinkedIn, Twitter, something online. Obviously, you're part of the community somehow, Slack, insert platform here. What are you doing there? Are you a lurker? or are you a maker? You don't have to be some TikTok dance expert to have a presence, right? You can show up and be who you are and bring what you know to the table. And some of these AI tools like ChatGPT, Bard, insert whatever. I name check ChatGPT here, but it doesn't matter. They're all very comparable. Unless you're going to go start programming, machine learning, and deep language models, which some of you are brilliant here, you might be. It doesn't really matter what you use. Use what's convenient. Use what's on the platform most connected to the stuff that you're already plugged into. For me, I like ChatGPT because I have a browser extension. Shh, don't tell Matt Torbin. We don't like browser extensions here. But we definitely like tools that make us smarter. So I say pick two platforms to focus on. Find your people. LinkedIn obviously is the king of social networks. Twitter, I personally enjoy. I understand there's some back and forth on that. Tons of stuff always on Instagram, TikTok. Insert your platform here. Morality is irrelevant because we're looking for audiences here. We're not debating, which one is this or that. Legally speaking, we're talking about where your folks are. And I would venture to bet there's still a lot of people on TikTok, even if there's some issues there. And know for a fact they're still on Twitter. Here's some ways to actually source content. This is something people ask me for help with. I don't mind helping because I'm really quick at it, and I'm quick because I do this stuff. So places to go find content. Feedly is free. It is amazing. If you've never worked with Feedly, go check it out. These slides will be available later. Happy to email them. I'll put them in the Slack group. So don't worry about screenshotting everything. RSS feeds. I never got into that. Honestly, it's a little more technical than I want to be with my content. Don't tell anyone. I don't come from tech. I come from recruiting and sales. Google Alerts. Super easy. Setting it up for your company, your hashtag. Yes, you should have a custom hashtag. Pocket is an app for this. All these news sources, Reddit. If you build curate your network and curate your sources, you will get what you want from it. So here I've got my little pro tip. Like begets like. You will find your way into conversations that advance your career if you can come up with a couple of keywords or hashtags that really summarize where you want to go career-wise and how social media can help you get there. Okay. Finding your content, again, don't scroll, search. I brought this up. I gave a talk similar to this, like 50% and then 50% brand new for DOS, about how many emails do you delete every week that you don't even open? Did you subscribe to those thinking they were insta garbage? Or did you subscribe thinking there might be something relevant and useful? Okay. Put them in a folder. Stop deleting them. Put them to the side. Look at them once every 2 weeks. Spend 20 minutes. Keyword search again. If you've got your keywords tight, you can do it that way. I mean, there's ways to make things useful that are already in your life without having to go find new things and start new apps and build new profiles and do all this stuff. National news. I make this point to share that I believe it is our obligation as people in cybersecurity to really make sure we share the need for cybersecurity with people in our daily lives. And I see a question came in about how to brand ourselves and keep things private. This is a perfect example of that. How many people do you know that are friends, family, coworkers with kids? Probably a lot, right? And how many of those kids do you think are online? How much attention are those parents paying to how many apps are on their kids' phone? What kind of passwords they're using? Have they briefed them on password security? We don't have to wait for October for this content to come out that is useful to everyday people. How about password lockers? How about digital credit cards? How about just good security advice, right? I'm not even a security technologist, and I still try to bring that conversation that at least brings people to the table to say, oh, security. Oh, it is me. That is me. I spend money online. Security is me. I should care. And once you get that, then they'll hear it. They can listen for it in the future. And we'll come back around to that too, about branding and ways to find content, but definitely a good way to think about that of how do I do this so it's still authentic, but it's still helpful. The good news, and this is where kind of the sales people have something to market come into play. 80-20 rule means 80% of your posts should be stuff about your ecosystem, and 20% is you and sales pitching, which means very little of your content actually has to be self-promotional in nature, shall we say. So here's an example of a tool that will really help amplify this messaging. Once you've got your couple of keywords, once you've got your couple of subjects, you're going to go to something like Notion, which this was like, give me, again, to that comment, what do we share? What can I share? Give me 10 action items for small businesses to do right now to be more cyber safe. Tell me 5, parenting hacks to start the conversation with my kids about cyber safety. Using these AI tools, and I'll probably say this a few times, as a brainstorming partner is what I like them best for. Copy AI, I share this example to show that some of them are better about citing their sources than others, and this is why you always want to have the accuracy and ethical implications of what you are doing with AI in the forefront of your mind when you are creating content. I am not the content police, but you do not want to get sued for copyright infringement. You do not want to post or publish things that other people own. You got to be careful. This is a self-preservation thing. This tool in particular, copy.ai, actually will give you citations to your sources, which is still good practice, and give you footnotes and build them in a way that really, I think, in our community, we need that professionalism piece of it still present. Canva, if you have Canva Pro, Canva now has Canva Docs, along with a whole other bunch of Canva stuff, including text to picture, which is not as good as Midjourney. We can talk about that after class. The Canva Magic Write is pretty cool. It does its thing the way all the rest of these do, which is to put your few words into a lot of content so that you save a lot of time not having to write all of this from scratch, and the brain power that it takes to come up with the variations and come up with your strategy and, kind of plan your distribution and things like that. It makes it a lot. So this is an example of like Canva's all-in-one marketing. These are what's called a theme. Not my favorite color scheme, but it certainly would get people's attention. And this is an easy way to zhuzh up your own content. Again, if you're trying to really own your personal brand, create content that's helpful, get folks to share it and pay attention. I see a lot of things like this used, for instance, as a carousel on LinkedIn. I personally look through a lot of those. I think that's a really interesting way to consume content. And this, choose your color scheme or your seasonal look, and you kind of give yourself that visual stamp as well, which is really cool to be able to do. Yeah, I love Canva everything. I fangirled on Canva so hard one year. I got them to sponsor Day of Security, darn it. And they are wonderful. They do a ton of work for women in tech in Australia. So shout out to Canva. Some tools to schedule your content. These are some things that are primarily free. This talk is really all about free and low-cost solutions. I'm not here to hawk things that are expensive. Sometimes paid tools work really well, and there's a reason why we pay for them. Sometimes, like in the case with Buffer, great things are free. And so don't limit yourself to only, what's premium. Little bit of content scheduling notes here. LinkedIn 3 to 5 times a week. Twitter 1 to 3 times a day, if not 50. Twitter does not penalize you for being a little psycho. Your followers might, though. I wouldn't advise doing that. And then some more notes here about the other platforms. Again, I'll share these later so you can kind of have these take away. I liked this piece of it, though, because if you just spend 5 minutes a piece on your content, because you only have to work on 2 channels, you are putting your content together in literally, what is this, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, less than an hour in a week, and you've got your content for the whole entire month put together. And so people saying, I don't have time, I don't know where to get it from, I don't understand where to start. Well, I've just solved that for you. You don't have that excuse anymore. So go start being loud. Another great idea of how to use AI, talk submissions. Again, Don't steal, double check, use your own info. I like to go to my ChatGPT with a really in-depth prompt that's something like, I said in-depth and prompt at the same time. Something like, help me come up with a talk about women in security who need marketing to understand the power of a personal brand. And then we go back and forth and again have a brainstorming partnership session where we're collaborating. We, being my AI, and I are collaborating on whatever it is I'm working on. So there's a lot of steps to the talk submission process, as you know, if you've done that or spoken here today. Finding the events, which ChatGPT can help with, planning your schedule, right, using a content scheduler like the one I just showed you, Buffer, writing your talk submissions based on the event. Day of Security might have a slightly different bent than Data Science Conference, right? And you might have a somewhat similar talk that could work for both, but you need to gear it a little bit. This kind of tool can be really helpful for that. Creating your brief summaries and pitches, submitting your talk. Unfortunately, sorry, that is still manual. And there are AI tools to make slides and do every other kind of part of this. Footnote, AI was not used to make these slides. I made these all by hand. Here's a list that's too long to even look through, but you can screenshot, or again, I'll send these out, of some other AI type of tools. A lot of these I have played with. Some of them I haven't. Synestia.io for videos is cool and creepy. The AI voice lady is a little bit scary. Part 2, AI for job searching. And not just job searching, but your career, leveling up your professional brand, if you will, your elevator pitch, how to change roles, what have you. So if you are actively job searching, as I am, plug to myself, director of marketing, 10 years in cyber, hello, 5 ways you can help with your own search: resumes, cover letters, resume checkers, job matching services, and AI job prep. These are all cottage industries of AI with 100 tools per bucket. So if you want to go back and forth on some that I might recommend, I'm happy to chat it out with folks after. There's too many to list here. The one name that I'll plug in the AI career software-ish browser stuff space is Teal. I like them for a couple of reasons. They let you track your jobs you've applied to. They let you save notes on each of those positions. They can help you brand your resume, but I think it's a premium feature. And it incorporates with LinkedIn and a bunch of other great pages that are super useful. I primarily like to make either cover letters or resume submission type of things using these AI tools. But just rolling it back to folks who maybe even need more inspiration than that. I know there's a lot of folks here that are career changers, job searchers. How do I get into cyber? What do I do to get into this field? What do my skills make me qualified to do? I would go to your brainstorm partner, good old ChatGPT/Bard/whatever, and say, here's my background. Here's my LinkedIn. My resume is online so that I can link it exactly for these kind of reasons. Please review this and let me know what would be good positions based on my skills and experience. Bang on, right? I'm well qualified for any one of these positions. Brand manager, communication specialist, digital marketing strategist, SaaS company, cybersecurity. That's based on my background. So now I've got somewhere to start. If I literally 10 minutes ago was like, what am I going to do with my life? Now I've got something to help me chat it out, right? And I appreciate this so much for that. That alone, just because I don't feel crazy. I do have someone to talk it out with, even if it's just myself and this online tool. Okay. Here are some companies. I took out the ones that are already here because we know about them, but here's some I've not heard of these. I've been in staffing for like 20 years and I've not heard of some of these folks. Obviously, I have heard of quite a few of them, but one of the cool things about this tool is that it's going to bring stuff from the entire internet ecosystem. And as well networked and as well informed as I could ever be, I don't know what the entire internet has in store. So being able to use something like this that is not just a Google, but is really a sophisticated, it's rolling through this conversation. It's retaining these prior notes to a degree, not all the history, but I thread these chats, and so I'm able to go back into these conversations and say, hey, this project I was working on, let's pick it back up again and talk about this. Okay. Cover letters. Once again, you are responsible for what you submit. Do not let this thing lie on your behalf. I make sure that I am really clear when I ask it to create any kind of job stuff for me. Yeah, thanks for sharing all that teal goodness. I love them so much. These cover letters need to be truthful, and you are going to want to check everything they do for you. Make sure that it doesn't add stuff that you don't have in your background. Here's an example of the prompts, which again, these are all in my slides, and you'll get them if you want them. Let's make me a cover letter. I just grabbed a job off LinkedIn that was like it says Senior Director of Cybersecurity Marketing. Bang on, right? Here's my resume. Here's the job. Help me craft this explanation of who the heck I am, what I do, why I see that I could do this without having to sit here and spend an hour coming up with this beautiful cover letter. Now, will this strategy start to backfire on me? Maybe. I am seeing marketing that people, their cover letter created by ChatGPT. Well, you know what? I've been a recruiter, and I would way rather read a well-formed cover letter that sounds a little AI informed than some rambly weirdness that doesn't really convince me that this person's good for the job, right? For my money, that's what I think. If you're applying for jobs that aren't a great fit or pretending to be something you're not, you're going to get found out pretty quickly. Got to keep saying it just because I would hate to be the one that informed it. I know that we're all very ethical folks here, though, so I'm not worried about it. Okay, so say I did the impossible and I got an interview. Oh my gosh, I'm finally going to interview with a real life manager. So now what do I do? Okay, this job's online. I'm going to grab all the info from it, and I'm going to feed that puppy into my brainstorming partner, and we are going to talk it out. And this had all these long explanations of all these answers, and I'm going to study just like for anything else, because a job search is kind of like a test. It's a test of how much you're paying attention, if it's a good one, and it lets you demonstrate that you really do have an understanding of that role. And so being able to describe your own experience, your own knowledge base and skill set in a way that makes sense and sounds like the job description and uses the language that position also uses is going to be really helpful. Okay. Artificial intelligence doesn't know you. It only knows what you tell it. So people are still really critical in this process, and your ability to speak about yourself, deliver an elevator pitch, introduce yourself and your services to people, explain what you care about, right? That's still a human skill. And I liked this. I noticed it doesn't really talk about staffing. So something, again, a note even for me, as I use this as a use case in front of you, this isn't perfect. I need to edit this. There's something important missing that it didn't know about me as we created this. And this is my second or third copy. So there is a little bit of an editorial process that happens here. But for my money as a content creator, this is saving me so much time. And you don't have to know how it works. You just have to start. Just pick somewhere. For me, I wanted to play with the pictures in Midjourney. That's where I started. I didn't know how to use Discord. I was in one Discord group, and now I sell AI art. I don't make a lot of money from it, but I figured it out. And it was because I started where I was. I followed what I was interested in, and I was able to make it something cool. So hope everyone got something from this. I came in real close on my time. I've probably got time for one question. And otherwise, here's all my contact info, and I will, again, put these in the Slack, and happy to email them if anyone wants a direct copy.